Maxar Technologies released satellite images of the construction, reviewed by the independent US Naval Institute. They appear to show the outlines of a US aircraft carrier and at least two guided missile destroyers. The Pentagon has been concerned about Beijing's expanding military capabilities and its claims of sovereignty in the South China Sea. Retired US Army Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis is a senior fellow and military expert at Defence Priorities. He joins us now from Virginia. Great to have you with us. Militaries around the world regularly build mock-ups of real targets, but I guess this is particularly sensitive because of the strained relationship between China and the United States at the moment. I mean, how significant is this, and how worried should the United States be?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head. This is something that militaries do all the time. I mean, I certainly did it when I was on active duty for 20 years. Even more so to the point, this was done in 2013. We've actually got some satellite images from 2013 in the Gobi Desert where China was doing this. So this is just a continuation of a long term. So the bottom line is there's nothing new here and there's no new capacity here. But what it does show is that China is very serious when they say that they are willing to use force to recapture Taiwan, and that they may be willing to go to war with us to take it. It's that serious to them, and we need to be very, very careful how we proceed in this situation.
Well, there was a Pentagon assessment which stated that Beijing is rapidly expanding its arsenal and military capabilities. Even the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, has warned that China's military progress amounted to, quote, one of the largest shifts in global geostrategic power the world has witnessed. I mean, that is a big statement. Is the US concerned, and what should they be doing?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm concerned about this statement because we've known this. There's no way that should be surprising anyone in Washington, D.C., least of all the Pentagon, because their own reports have been talking about the progressing capabilities of the Chinese military for more than 2 decades. So this shouldn't have taken anyone by surprise. And the fact that they're saying it is somewhat troubling to me, to tell you the truth, because it implies that we're undervaluing or underassessing the capabilities that they possess, and that could mean that we could make a bad decision, to actually use force. And the other thing that Chairman Milley said that was somewhat troubling to me was that he seemed to say there's no problem, they won't do it within the next 2 years, but after that. But I think, as does the Minister of Defense for Taiwan itself, he said that they have the capacity now, but they could perfect it in 2 to 3 years. So the threat is on us right now that they could take Taiwan, and we need to be very, very careful and cognizant of the potential cost of the United States.
Do you think that the US military underestimates the Chinese?
I do think they do. And based on some of these comments, I think that we undervalue just how great the threat is if we attack China over the situation of Taiwan. In the global situation, in the global dynamics, the United States is overwhelmingly more powerful than China in just about any category you want to look at. But in the Taiwan Straits, like 100 miles off China's shore, 6,000 miles off of our shore, China has all the tactical and conventional military advantages. And in a fight that they really want, that's important to them, they have the decisive advantage. And if we don't take that seriously, we could blunder into something thinking that we can handle it when we probably can't.
Well, a few weeks ago, the Chinese tested a hypersonic weapon, which once again caught US military leaders by surprise. Chairman Milley said it was very close to being a Sputnik moment. Does the US have anything like this in its arsenal, and is China changing the game, in your opinion?
Well, this is yet another one of those head scratchers, because in 2015, 6 years ago, the Pentagon report on Chinese military power talked about the Chinese developing a hypersonic glide vehicle. So I don't, again, understand how you can say it caught you by surprise unless you're not paying attention to your own doctrine. But we should be paying a lot of attention to this. And by the way, to answer your specific question, they're actually third in line here. So this is no Sputnik moment, because the Soviets or the Russians have tested hypersonic weapons. We've tested hypersonic weapons, and now China is coming in. And what this shows is that they are a capable adversary, and that we cannot take them lightly, because it could kind of turn out to be to our disadvantage if we do that. And it's a risk.
Do you believe that the United States is falling behind?
I don't think that we're falling behind. It's just that we're still at the very top of our game. We're still doing a lot of things right. We have great technology, but the China is no longer the China of 1953 or 1950 when the Peasant Army attacked into North Korea against the U.S. military. This is not even 20 years ago. This is now that they're moving up. So it shows that they're moving into parity with us, not that we're falling behind, but that they're capable. And I'll just tell you that the really important thing to understand about that is that they're no threat to attack the United States or our territories in the area because we still possess an overwhelming advantage in military terms, and especially in nuclear terms. And China's not going to do anything about that. What China might do, though, is attack us if we go into their backyard, and that's the critical difference.
Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis, great to get your insight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Always my pleasure.